Hi, this is David Kay, and you're listening to Altered Geek. Geek.
Get altered, get geeky, it's a wild ride. Join the discussion, let's dive into lore. From Star Trek to Transformers, we're ready to soar. Superheroes clash as we spark up the flame. Altered Geek Podcast, remember the name.
Hello and welcome to Altered Geek. I'm your host, Steve Megatron, and joining me on this adventure into geekdom is TFG1Mike.
This is all things Altered Geek, ladies and gentlemen, don't you know?
Might as well be. Thank you for tuning in as always. And if you'd like to leave a comment on the episode post on the website, you can do so by clicking on that. And then there's a tab that says comments, and it should allow you to see the comments. And scroll down to the bottom, and you should be able to make that comment either through a Facebook or Google social posting, or just leave your email and you can post that way. Anyhow, this week we have a rather large amount of news articles that we can talk about. Some of them to lesser degrees than others, varying.
There's four
between
main,
superheroes and other things.
Yeah, there's four main news articles. There's two YouTube video things, and then there's the overall main topics. So.
Yeah, more so there's honorable mentions.
Yeah.
with quick commentary.
Yeah. Just that. All right. Kicking it off, you pointed out, does this really need a sequel? Really?
So my wife and I have been going through this kick lately of watching based on a true story films. Mm-hmm. I know that not all of them are 100% factual. There's you know a lot of dramatization aspects added to the storylines of most of these. What's interesting is we watched this one, and I know that parts of it were on point, and then a lot of it was just there for the drama.
Yeah.
With this, because even when the first movie was out, like I remember both of us going, "Oh, this is so overrated. I don't really give a crap. Like this, like I could care less."
I'm the CEO, bitch.
Yeah, I didn't much care for it. Like, yes, it was Mark Zuckerberg's story, but I found honestly all of the different Steve Jobs movies to be more entertaining. Yeah. I also have to say this. Sorkin's stuff, while somewhat interesting, I don't really like his filmmaking.
It's a specific style. I'll say that it's a very specific. Yeah.
I know he's been good in like The Newsroom and you know, A Few Good Men and things like that. The Steve Jobs film I thought was crap. Studio 60 was good.
Yeah.
The Steve Jobs film, there was a lot of liberties taken with that as well. Like, yeah, there was a couple of key things that actually happened, but then a lot of it was just bull. Same thing with this. Like, I didn't much care for the first one. My wife didn't either. Like, she's like, "Oh, yeah, that's kind of interesting," you know. And then we were like, meh, and then promptly didn't care anymore. She was more engaged by the Steve Jobs films than this. And honestly, like, while it's interesting to hear that he's doing a social network too, is it really necessary? Like, I get we want the origin story for a lot of these, but I don't feel like we need their entire life and rundown of like everything.
Yeah.
I mean,
the thing with Aaron Sorkin is he's mainly a Hollywood writer. He's not a director, so he didn't he wrote the story for a lot of the stuff. That's the key here, is that he's a Hollywood writer. Because the first, from 92 to 2015, all of his films, he is not the director, he's the writer. So A Few Good Men, Malice, American President, Charlie Wilson's War, Social Network, Moneyball, Steve Jobs. He's not directing those films. He's just writing them.
Yeah, and even then, like that's what I'm getting at. It's like
Yeah.
I don't care who directs it because
Yeah.
it's not that, it's the story.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And yeah, I mean, out of all of the stuff that he's done, I haven't even finished the Newsroom. I got to like, I don't know, the first 5 or 6 episodes of the first season. I liked what I saw of the Newsroom. Out of the movies that he's written for, I liked A Few Good Men. I liked The American President. I liked The Social Network. It was okay. I don't remember seeing Steve Jobs. I think I saw the other one. I think Steve Jobs is not the one with Ashton. Jobs is the one with Ashton.
Jobs is the one with Ashton.
Yeah.
Steve Jobs is the one
with Michael Fassbender. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's not a knock against the actors. I mean, they did great for what they were given.
I'm just trying
Fassbender
to clarify.
actually looks like older Steve Jobs, and Ashton looks like younger Steve Jobs.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so they do a really good job at playing the character of, and the person of Steve Jobs. And so those I did enjoy for different reasons. I enjoyed Jobs more than Steve Jobs. And then, of course, I've seen Pirates of Silicon Valley.
Of course you have.
Which is much older.
Yes.
And it's got more of the Microsoft and Apple starting.
Yeah.
But this, I mean, and especially reading what he wants to more or less wrap into this, into the Social Network too.
Yeah.
Because obviously the first one was the origins of Facebook. He wants to follow it up with more of a writing about Facebook and its impact on democracy, and then the January 6th thing.
Oh,
and it's like,
God, get out, shut the fuck. We can move on. I'm done.
Yeah.
I don't even care.
So, yeah. So that's.
I have zero interest now. Like, nope, not even. Like, no. The huge difference in wanting to write a sequel to a movie of an origin story and maybe tell how Mr. Zuckerberg continued on with his story of how he caved to finally putting ads on Facebook, or maybe he finally did something different than maybe he sacrificed one of his morals or something that he said he would never do with Facebook, or maybe it would have to be something that in the first movie he said he would never do, that he eventually just buckled under the pressure of having to do that something in order to keep Facebook alive, oh hell no.
Yeah. So anyways, we'll move on.
Yeah. I'm done with that. That's so I don't why would anyone want to see that?
I don't know if they're going to specifically touch on that specific date, but they're going to definitely be very political with it. And honestly, I'm looking for any escape from it. Like, we're living it. I don't.
Yeah.
Like, Star Trek had this nice way of infiltrating it in the story without like being in your face, and it was more cerebral and made you kind of go, like not in your face with it, but they were like making you think. Yeah, and that was what I enjoyed about how Star Trek pulled it off.
Yeah,
whereas
that's the kind of story we want in entertainment. Is we want to be able to have the entertainment make us think about certain things and not.
I definitely agree with the ability to question, like either side. Like it doesn't matter. Like I'm not getting political. It just
no.
I feel like you should be able to have that conversation. Yes.
Yeah.
Like, and I feel like people should not be so far up the butt of either side of it that they can't have a civil conversation. That being said, there are things that, both of them do equally that are horrible at different points of time. And honestly, like having it in your face constantly, like between the news and social media is why people are so charged and just can't unwind. And to have, I would rather that it was more of like that thing that makes you go, think about it thing, rather than an in your face, like, oh, let's just rehash this again.
Yeah.
When it's been in the news for years now. So I would much rather just have something that's just entertaining, which is why I pretty much stay away from any of these type of things anymore. And I watch old stuff unless it's like, like the new Happy Gilmore 2 that's going to be coming out, and, some of the just things that are older and based on a true story, but they're, it's a segment of different point of time, and it's not necessarily like horrid constantly. So
well, this is why, so for me, this is why again, you can tell a story, like you take something like I'm trying to think, what's the not 16 blocks, I forget, Double Jeopardy, or Basic Instinct, or insert whatever old ass movie here. You take like husband murders wife, or wife murders husband, X number of whatever. Nowadays, for me, that kind of stuff, or that kind of whatever, like true crime stuff, I watch true crime shows for that kind of stuff, for the real, like, for me, movies need to be an escape. You can do the murder mystery suspense thing, that's fine, but I don't need, I try my best not, outside of Marvel and stuff like that, I try my best not to do the political thriller thing, because I don't like politics in my entertainment most of the time. Yes, I understand there's going to always be politics in entertainment, because that's just the way the Hollywood writers write things and everything else. But like specifically saying that you're going to potentially have January, no. So anyway, over in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, we have Ironheart, and all the reviews are swaying one way. Hey, look, I'm just glad people like something in the Marvel Cinematic Universe again, finally.
I find it funny that they say that it's got, cultural nuance, millennial nostalgia, and yada yada yada, but I just don't care.
Now I've been interested in reading into some of the Riri Williams comics. I have not had a chance to check out any of the. I've known about the character for years now, and I just have never had a chance to check out her character in the Marvel Comics universe. But I don't know. I need something in, and we're going to get into this later when we talk about Phase 4 and Phase 5 in the main discussion of the podcast today, whenever you find people listening to this. But I just, every trailer I see of this, or every clip or every snippet I see of this, I'm interested to find out what it's about. So for me to see people talking about it positively, even though I'm not going to remember about half of the stuff that people have said, at least I know people are talking about it positively, will make me think at some point whenever I get to watching Ironheart that I know I'm at least going in looking at it as, oh, this could be good.
See, I look at it from the stance of, like, if it's got an average tomato meter that it's high, I'm generally not going to like it. It's got a 55% for average popcorn meter, which is, your everyman, more or less. Now, that being said, I also watched, the National Treasure Edge of History, and the critics gave it a 38% and the audience gave it a 49%. And I have to agree it was crap, because they missed out on having the biggest one that they could have in it, which was Nicolas Cage.
Yes.
Now, that being said, I'm not a huge fan of all of the Marvel television series. I don't watch most of them. The only ones I cared to watch were the ones that were in the actual Avengers films. And so, like, I liked Loki from the perspective of he was trying to fix part of the multiverse, which was all jacked up anyway because of all of the stuff they've been doing.
Right.
And that's how he kind of comes into play into the next two Avengers films. And so in that regard, I find that one useful. Hawkeye, that show was interesting because I like the character.
Mm-hmm.
He's not my favorite character of the group, but
Right.
I do like the character.
Yeah.
And then, then you had, Scarlet Witch, show.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have the animated, what if?
Yep.
The rest of them, even the Winter Soldier and
Falcon and Winter.
Falcon and the Winter Soldier, that one was okay, but it was kind of, again, like a miss. Like, the What If was generally entertaining across the board.
Yeah.
Hawkeye was entertaining across the board. I have not enjoyed any of the other Marvel shows, and I've tried giving some of them a chance. Like, I tried watching She-Hulk. I tried watching a few of the others, and I just could not. Like, and I watched them most of the way through, and I was like, okay, I'm done with the television stuff. I'm just going to stick with the films, and then even then, a lot of the films have been a miss.
Yeah,
we'll get into that later.
Yep. Yeah.
So in this regard, I just don't care.
Yeah, so for me with Marvel right now, where I am is it's a wait and see. Like, for me with a lot of stuff right now, it's a wait and see because I've got so many other things that I'm currently doing, or so many other things I'm currently not doing because I'm so backed up because of my medical stuff that's going on. I'm okay, folks, but fine. Get into this. A couple months ago, something happened with my right arm, which is my cerebral palsy arm, where from the top of my shoulder to right above my right elbow, I had nothing but constant pain in my upper bicep, tricep, whatever area this up here. And we did x-rays, we did this, we did that, we did all kinds of stuff. And by the time you find people who hear this, it'll probably be the 4th of July weekend. Yay! We're actually recording this Monday, June 30th, 2025, 30 years ago to the date of the release in theaters of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, the movie. Talk about that later, too.
That's a good movie.
That's right. We'll talk about that later, too. So, as of this date, as of the sound of my voice, about a month and a half ago, I hit my left elbow, which is my good arm, on the wall. Don't ask me how I hit. It's a balance issue thing, and I have bad balance issues because of the cerebral palsy. So you know how when you hit your elbow and the pain is like, at first it's like, oh, holy, I hit my elbow. What the going on here and everything else. And that pain lasts, let's say 20, 30 minutes, whatever, maybe less than that. And then, 2 days later, you forget about it. Well, my 2 days later, in between my middle finger and ring finger, from my ring finger out to my pinky and down to my wrist, that whole side of my left hand, even right now as I'm speaking, is constantly numb. Like you sleep on your hand and your hand goes numb, and normally you can just rub your hand and like you can shake your hand out and it goes away. It's that kind of numbness and tingliness. And the more I use, like if I'm sitting here typing, if I'm sitting here writing, or if I'm doing the dishes, or if I'm doing laundry. The more I use my left hand, which is my good hand, it's the only hand I can freaking use. The more I use it, the more the numbness spreads to my middle finger, my index finger, and my thumb, and it spreads to my whole hand. So, again, as of this recording, today, I just got out of the doctor's office to do an EMG test, which is basically them putting a bunch of needles in my arm and hand and everything else to do their tests. And I'm waiting on test results to figure out what the hell's going on. And the whole point of all of this is to say that I haven't been keeping up on a lot of things and everything else. So yeah, it's just crazy. So just trying to keep up with some of this stuff lately is like, I'm not really caring. I'm not keeping up with Marvel as like, I'm not so sharp with Marvel as I used to be. And like you've already said, and we will talk about later, it's not like, and I've said this before, you name your quote unquote 22nd or 23rd movie, whatever it is, the end game, in my mind, that means it's the end. That means you're wrapping up your story. I understand you can make more movies and do more stories in the future with different characters and other characters, and that's all fine. But you wrap up this X number of 15 years, 16, however the hell many years it was from 2008 to 2019. I'm not doing the math on that right now. But like, I don't know. Everything after Endgame, I was very skeptical at first. I liked a lot of it, but I don't know. And as far as phase 4 and 5, like we said, we're going to do a deeper discussion in a little bit here, folks, on the show, but I just don't pay attention as much as I used to. And the only reason why we're even talking about any of this now is because Ironheart news came out, and it's like, oh, it's coming up, and oh, the reviews are, every review is so positive, it's skewed to the positive. Finally, somebody's actually talking positive about something. That's what we flippin' need in geekdom right now. We need some flippin' positivity, damn it. See, I used the flippin' and I used my other thing for the damn it. You're lucky, because I've been trying my best not to fluck off. And fluck it up. I said fluck. It just, I understand negativity and bad things and horrible things happening. I get it. You know, if it bleeds, it leads. I get it in news. Trust me, I understand that. We've been covering news for 15 years, 16 years, whatever it is. I get it. But the fact that these reviews for this show, this 6-episode show, 6 episodes, you got to be kidding. I hate the Disney Plus model. I really do.
Oh, for sure.
Give me something I can sync my... Look, I'm not asking for 22. I'm not asking for 23. I'm not asking for the old days of that kind of... Give me 10. Give me 12. Give me something. 6? Really? Because I guarantee you, they're going to give you 6 episodes, and on that 6th episode, they're going to leave it on a cliffhanger. And if they don't get enough in the ratings, or if they don't get enough in the streaming numbers, they're going to say, well, we didn't get enough in the streaming numbers, so Ironheart will never be seen again unless it's in some random movie with Groot. Because, let's face it, Groot is the Grogu of the Marvel Universe. Sorry, not sorry. There you go. Make a clip out of that, buddy. Yeah. Oh, God. But yeah, no. I mean, I'm interested to see what it is, what happens with that show. Whenever I end up seeing it, whether it's whatever, whenever. So we'll see. on the flip side of the superheroes, we have DC, where James Gunn says that that Adria Arjona as Wonder Woman, she'd be a great Wonder Woman. I've never heard of this person. I would have to click on her name to see what her actual credits actually are. Because literally, this is the first time I've ever heard her name from
I agree.
anywhere. Like,
American Guatemalan actress known for a lot of roles. Screen debut in 2012. She was in the movie Hitman.
oh, okay.
She was in Andor. She was in Morbius. She was in Six Underground. She was in Father of the Bride in 2022. Yeah. I'm game.
Oh, she was okay. She was a million. Okay, she was a million. Okay, yeah. Okay,
Yeah, she was in Book of Boba Fett.
yeah. Okay,
Person of
yeah.
interest. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Cool.
So.
Yeah. Huh. Interesting. Okay. Sure.
She's dating Jason Momoa.
Nobody gives a rip.
No. I find that interesting because
He's Aquaman.
Well, he's Aquaman, but he's playing Lobo.
Yeah, that's true.
In the new DC universe with James Gunn.
Yep.
So, yeah. It might come with the territory.
Yep.
So, but yeah, I mean, I'm fine with it. I think it'll be interesting to see. I'm not so like dead set on who, oh no, it can only be this person who plays this.
No, not at all. Yeah. Oh.
I mean, I think it's great when, you can't have a legacy actor continue to play the character, such as like
Gale.
Obi-Wan Kenobi and, stuff like that. From like Ewan McGregor and, where you have other series that kind of continue on with same people. But I get it. Like every time somebody new gets in here, they're going to reboot it. And 2 to 3 films is about the max we see somebody play a superhero in most cases.
Yep.
Marvel notwithstanding, but
true.
Even the Sony stuff, like you were good for 2 or 3 films, and then it was like, all right, bye. So I'm fine with this. Like, it'll be interesting to see somebody else take on the role, and I've seen a lot of different takes on. Like, I remember years ago when they had this like casting of who should play who, and the guy that played the Lone Ranger was like on tap to possibly play Batman, and then yeah. So I mean, I'm fine with it. I think it'll be interesting either way.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, very fun, very fun. And then, folks, we go to animation. Oh boy. Marge Simpson dies tonight.
Well, sort of.
Yeah.
They killed her off in the season 36 finale.
Yeah.
In a flash forward scene.
Yeah.
But yeah. It shows like Bart and Lisa grow apart after they stop watching Itchy and Scratchy show, and then Marge thinks that they'll both become estranged, and 35 years later she dies. And then it's funny because Homer looks the same age.
Yeah.
Everybody else is old. But it says Homer's taken out of retirement home by the Senior Protective Services. But yeah, I don't know. I haven't watched the show in ages, so it's kind of funny.
I haven't either. I don't like if they do a specific spoof, I might watch a clip on YouTube. but I haven't actively watched The Simpsons since 1993.
I think it stopped being relevant like 10, 15 years ago.
I guess.
Yeah. I don't know. It's interesting.
What I find
Yeah.
funny is, when did this episode air?
It aired like a week ago.
Okay. Did it really?
Not even that. Like,
36.
I mean, all the posts were coming out on June 25th.
Okay.
And we're sitting at June 30th here. So it's been almost a week. I mean, it will have been a week by the time you hear this episode.
Yeah. Okay. Because the Phineas and Ferb season, the Phineas and Ferb season 5 thing kind of did the same thing where their mom disappeared too, and it made it look like that one of their inventions killed her. So they did kind of the same thing, which I find ironic considering Disney owns both Phineas and Ferb and The Simpsons. It's like, wait a minute, guys. Something wrong here.
There are no new ideas, man.
No, new ideas? What would that be?
But I mean, yeah. I've not been a fan of a lot of the TV stuff that Marvel, or not Marvel, Disney or Marvel, whomever has been putting out. Like, it's all been kind of meh.
Yeah, the original air date was May 18th, so we are way safe for spoilers here. It's over.
I just find it funny that it got revealed later.
Yeah,
like a month later.
Yeah. Usually it
tells you how much people. Somebody must have been like, "Hey, I think I'll watch the Simpsons finale again," and then they're like, "Oh crap!
Oh crap!" Yep, it's crazy. Simply crazy. All right.
So, yeah. Moving on, I think we have a couple of other little minor clippets here.
Yep. So the minor clippets are the Tom Cruise YouTube video thing where he lip syncs to The Weeknd's "Can't Feel My Face" song. Have you watched this?
I did. It's entertaining because it's Tom Cruise and it fits with his 80s, 90s aesthetic of film.
Yeah. What I think is hilarious is Jimmy Fallon's reaction to because like when the song starts, he has his fingers up and it, like his two fingers are between Jimmy's face and Jimmy just cracking up. I just find this absolutely. This is one of those clips that does not need to die. Like, I'm not going to bring it up all the time, but like it just is one of those things where people don't need to forget this because it's just so funny. And then the other one was, it's just a simple little thing. It's just them announcing that Lilo and Stitch 2 is in development, and it's Stitch going around the studio in a car where I think it did say "too fast" at first. I was like, wait a minute, is he going to be in Fast X Part 2? I really hope they don't call it Fast X Part 2. For God's sake, don't do that. Just call it Fast 11, damn it.
You know they're bringing back Paul Walker.
Yes, I was going to mention that. They're going to use his brothers again, probably. They're going to use mocap on his brothers and bring him back one more time. I just saw the clip or the news that that Vin wants him back. Yeah, which honestly I think is it's like, why? Just let it go, Dom. Come on, man. Like, I get it because they started the franchise together, but Paul's been dead for a decade now, longer. When did he die? Because I know he died around the same time my mom died, which is 10 years ago, this past May. no, he died 2 years before my mom died. He died in 2013. So, like, I don't know, dude. I don't know. I just don't know anymore. Nothing. Yeah.
I stopped watching that like after the second film.
I would.
It's not a knock against it. It
No,
really
no,
isn't.
I
I
know.
just lost interest. It was more so that, and
Yeah.
then like I know 3 like was
Well,
technically like a prequel of some
yeah.
sort or something, and then
3 wasn't really a prequel. 3 was out of. So if you look at it in.
was it like David S. Pumpkins? It was its own thing.
Yeah, kinda. Because Sean Boswell or Sean Beeswell or whatever the Sean character, I don't know. Because honestly, I have seen Tokyo Drift exactly once in my lifetime, and unfortunately, here pretty soon I'm going to have to see it twice in my lifetime. So here, so well, it's my own fault, but
I know.
Yeah. So here's the thing with Tokyo Drift. Originally, as far as I know, Tokyo Drift was its own thing. We just assumed that they weren't going to do any more after Tokyo Drift, etc., etc., etc. They came back with a vengeance in 2009, because Tokyo Drift was 2006. They came back with a vengeance with Fast and Furious 4 in 2009. 2011 was Fast 5, yada, yada, yada. Fast 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Well, they haven't done 11 yet, but basically the events of Tokyo Drift fit in between Fast 6 and Fast and Furious 7. And the reason why they do that is because at the end of Fast 6, you see Deckard Shaw was Owen Shaw's old brother. Deckard is played by Statham. You see him in Tokyo, quote unquote, killing Han, who is the other is the character that was in Tokyo Drift. I say quote unquote killing Han because he's not really dead. Spoiler, not spoiler, because I know you don't care. So that's how they made it fit into the franchise story. So technically, the franchise goes 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 3, 7, 8, 9, Hobbs and Shaw, 10, and then 11, and hopefully they'll really actually be done at 11, because that's what Diesel has said. 11 is the last film. Hopefully. Speaking of films and stuff and Marvel versus DC and everything else. So we have news of Marvel doing their own film re-release, because Marvel actually loves their fans and they want their fans to be, happy, and they want their fans to actually see their movies in theaters. Fucking DC. Release the Schumacher cut, you bastards.
They will after they get bought.
Who's buying DC?
No, I'm just saying,
Okay.
Warner Brothers here.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, so Sam Raimi's Spider-Man Trilogy returns to theaters. The success of Spider-Man in 2002 helped launch the modern era of superhero films. All 8 live-action Spider-Man movies returned to theaters last spring, much to the delight of fans. The re-releases racked up millions of dollars in ticket revenue. Yada, 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 yada. It does not say when fall that 3 will release, but they are re-releasing in theaters this fall. So that's the big news there. which is unlike, just like Marvel, to actually care about their fans, unlike DC, who doesn't give two shits about their Batman Forever fan people. What's it going to hurt you, DC? It's actually going to make you money if you release it. You know that old saying, if we build it, they will come? If you re-release it, they're going to buy the fucking tickets, you idiots.
Well, movie theaters are kind of on their way out anyway.
Yeah, I know, but
at the same token, people were like, "Give us the Snyder cut," and DC was like, "Nice try, guys."
Mm-hmm. All right, so here we go. Marvel Phases 4 and 5. I'm going to run down the quick list for films and TV shows for each phase.
I think we should also mention which ones we watched and which ones we enjoyed after you list them.
Well, yes, we will. That's the point, but I just want to get the list out first. We'll list movies first, and then we'll say our favorites and least favorites, and then ones we haven't even watched, because there are some that I haven't even watched. And then we'll... Yeah, so, all right, Phase 4. Sure, I have here. This is Phase 4, correct? Yes, Phase 4. Make sure I hit the right link. Do your job, Mike. Do your job. All right, in Phase 4, we had Black Widow, Shang-Chi, The Eternals, Spider-Man No Way Home, Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, Thor Love and Thunder, and Black Burp and Wakanda Forever. So that's Black Widow, Shang-Chi, Eternals, No Way Home, Doctor Strange 2, Thor Love and Thunder, and Black Panther Wakanda Forever. What do you got?
So I watched Black Widow, Spider-Man No Way Home, Doctor Strange, Thor. Out of these groupings, Shang-Chi and Eternals, I just didn't care. Again, third tier characters. Black Panther, I was interested when we had the original actor.
Yeah.
After that point, I just didn't care anymore. Not that one would have been bad. I probably would have cared about that, just because like they were some of the stronger parts of the Infinity War and Endgame. Just from part of the roles that they played. But out of these that I've seen, the only like Black Widow was really good.
Mm-hmm.
Gave us kind of a glimpse of, during the blip.
Yep.
And then, or at least pre-blip, because Romanoff's sister,
Yelena,
disappeared during the blip.
Yep.
So this was pre-blip. But anyways, I found that film to be really entertaining, really good. And then Spider-Man No Way Home was like my absolute favorite of that year, of that phase, was because we got we got all of the Spider-Man.
Yep.
So that was like, okay, we're paying tribute to all of the previous Spider-Man.
Yeah, pretty much.
So, and my favorite was always like the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. So that in essence, and then the William Dafoe Green Goblin, and Otto Octavius. And so I really enjoyed it, and that for me was like the icing on the cake for my favorite of that phase. Doctor Strange was weird, and I liked some of the fan moments, especially with the parallel universe and the Reed Richards and Professor X and things like that. But again, they just love to kill Patrick Stewart as Professor X, because it happened in X3, it happened in Multiverse of Madness, and it happened in Logan. So we were 3 for 3 at that point.
Or Patrick Stewart.
And Thor would have been okay, but it was just too goofy more than Ragnarok. Ragnarok fit. This was just like, okay, we're stretching it.
Yeah. So,
But yeah, those out of those films, like Spider-Man No Way Home and Black Widow were my favorite.
yeah. I have only seen Black Widow and Spider-Man No Way Home. I don't care about any of the other films in Phase 4. Black Panther Wakanda Forever, I might watch just to see how that story kind of concludes, kind of thing. But I don't feel like it's something I absolutely have to watch. I was done with Thor after the Dark World. I did watch Ragnarok. I thought Ragnarok was the best out of the Thor movies. I thought if they did another Thor movie, it would only go downhill from here. And from what you've said and from what others have told me, I was right. I'm not judging it based on something I have not seen. I'm just judging it based on your opinion and what others have told me. So I'm not making my own assumptions on something I have not watched. I'm just going off of what others have said. But I had zero interest in Shang-Chi. I had zero interest in the Eternals. I don't know. I just had no interest in either of those. Black Widow I really enjoyed. Black Widow I wish had come out so much earlier than when it did as far as the continuity of the film itself. But it is what it is. So that's the Phase 4 films. Here is the Phase 4 television series. We have WandaVision, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Loki Season 1. These are all Season 1. What If, Hawkeye, Moon Knight, Ms. Marvel, and She-Hulk, Attorney at Law.
So out of this batch, I watched WandaVision. I watched Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Loki, What If, Hawkeye, and She-Hulk. Ms. Marvel didn't interest me whatsoever. Moon Knight really didn't interest me whatsoever. I enjoyed WandaVision for what it was. Didn't love it, but it was better than what they did to her character in Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
And the Multiverse of Madness. The Falcon and the Winter Soldier was okay had they just kept it to Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
Instead of all the other people that they added.
Yeah.
That later became a part of Phase 5. Loki was a slow burn. Season 1, I kind of was like, okay. Like, it got better. And then when they brought in Kane, I think that's his name.
Kang,
yeah. You can tell how much I cared. I didn't care for his character whatsoever. Didn't like the actor. Didn't like portrayal. Whatever. I just didn't care for it. What If I enjoyed. Hawkeye I enjoyed. She-Hulk I tried. It was trying way too hard, and so in that I didn't care for it either. So out of this batch, the only ones I really enjoyed were What If and Hawkeye.
I liked WandaVision for the psychology of it all, to see what she was dealing with. But in general, I'm not the easiest way I can equate this is you take Lord of the Rings and put it on one side, and you take Star Wars and put it on the other side. I'm going to choose Star Wars every day. So you take something like WandaVision and Falcon and Winter. I'm going to pick Falcon and Winter every day of the week. Or even if you want to take WandaVision and put Hawkeye on the other side of that, I'll take Hawkeye every day of the week. I didn't dislike WandaVision. I enjoyed it for what it was. But it just wasn't. I don't know. I'm not. I'm more Batman than Jason the Magic Boy, his adversary that he goes up against sometimes. So there's that. Falcon and Winter I really enjoyed. What I really enjoyed about Falcon and Winter was the two of them constantly arguing like a bitter old married couple. Like those counseling sessions in that show, the therapist sessions between the two of them, oh, good fun right there. I did not watch Loki because I don't care about Loki as a character. I never have cared about Loki as a character. The less Loki I see in the Marvel, the better. I was done with Loki after the very first Avengers movie. If Loki just fell into the Earth's core and died, I would not care. What If is amazing. All 3 seasons, even though I haven't watched the 3rd season yet, but the first 2 seasons of What If, simply amazing. I can't wait to finally get a chance to watch the 3rd season. Hawkeye is great. Absolutely love Hawkeye. Kate is hilarious. Kate and Clint together are even more hilarious. Absolutely love that. I'm not a Moon Knight or Ms. Marvel fan. I just didn't get into those shows. And I am actually waiting to watch She-Hulk with the Chaos Queen. So yeah, I'll have to reserve judgment on She-Hulk. So that is Marvel Phase 4. All right, getting into Phase 5 with the film. I forgot that Phase 5 actually started with Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. Shoot me now. Don't wait till you get home. Shoot me now. I stopped watching the Ant-Man movies after the Ant-Man. I could give 2 craps less about Ant-Man and his Quantumania of whatever. So I didn't watch that one. I'll just come out and say it. The only movie I've seen in Phase 5 so far is Deadpool. I kind of had interest in watching the Marvels. I don't know if I'll watch the Marvels. I know I want to watch Brave New World, and I know I want to watch Thunderbolts. So that's my experience with the Phase 5 films to this point.
So I have watched Ant-Man 3. I had started Guardians 3.
Mm-hmm.
And then I watched Deadpool and Wolverine.
Mm-hmm.
And then I've had no interest in the rest. The Marvels, I didn't like Captain Marvel anyway. And I just honestly didn't like the premise, so I just didn't care. And kind of the same thing with like Guardians of the Galaxy 3. I just lost interest. Captain America Brave New World, with the amount of reshoots that we'd heard that they'd had, and it's just not the same.
But
it's nothing against Falcon. It's
right.
It's nothing against the actor, because like I think he would do fine. I just think that there was a lot of
but the reshoots and all of that and whatever else that they had to do, we don't know what that original movie was going to be. So whatever reshoots they had to do, whatever movie they ended up giving us, that's the movie we got. It's kind of
that's not what I'm.
Okay, so what are you trying to say?
It's not what I'm beating it up for. I just think that yes, they brought in things like adamantium and, you know, other things to kind of bring aspects of the pre-MCU parts of this into the MCU.
Yeah.
But I think that they're setting him up, Wilson, obviously, to become Captain America here, like officially outside of Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and to kind of tee up the multiversal battle.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It didn't. The trailers didn't do it any favors, in my opinion. And then Thunderbolts, I just didn't care to have. One, then they got the asterisk on there because they're like, oh, the new Avengers.
Yeah.
And I know it takes place after the Captain America Brave New World.
Yeah.
I don't love the aspect of them being the new Avengers.
Well, okay, so the
and it kind of rubbed me wrong that it's more like Suicide Squad.
So for me,
in essence,
you're right, because that's kind of what it is. But here's the thing. I care more about Yelena and Red Guardian than any single member on the Suicide Squad ever. I've never cared about any of the members on the Suicide Squad. Yeah, you got Deadshot in there. Yeah, you got King Shark in there. Yeah, you got who's the other guy? Captain Boomerang. You got Captain Cold sometimes. Captain Cold, maybe I cared about him a couple.
Then you get Harley Quinn.
Yeah, you got Harley. Okay, sure. A stand-in for Yelena. Sure, fine, whatever. Vice versa, if you really want to say. But, like, I don't know, man. Like, and I think for me, the biggest thing, and I don't have my phone with me, I'll have to... They use the song in the trailers by some band, and I'll have to figure it out later, and it just kind of... Those trailers where she's just letting go and just diving off that building. That swan dive off the building just, it just sunk me into wanting to watch that damn movie. It really did. And I'll tell you all now, the single reason why I am not actively paying attention to the films directly is because at some point, probably next year, Studio 2009 is going to go through the whole cinematic universe from the beginning. Films and shows in story order. It's going to be the big thing for Studio 2009 2026. I don't know who's going to be on it with me, and it can be rotating because I know not everybody.
I would be welcome to do rotating because, there's some of these I have zero interest.
How long you known me? Like, I would make you watch everything. You got to be kidding me! Come on, dude. No, that's why I said it's going to be rotating because I know not everyone likes. But my thing is, I want to explore it all. So for me, it has to be everything. For everybody else, you pick and choose what you want, and we go from there. But I've been thinking about this for years. Because we tried doing this years ago when they first started. I remember on M-Wire. We tried doing Iron Man 1, 2, 3. We did Avengers. We did this. We did that. Yada, 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 yada. We did Batman Begins, Dark Knight, and Dark Knight Rises. And here we are, 20 freaking years later, getting ready to do one podcast in a couple of weeks, talking about the 20th anniversary. And we're going to talk about all three films, because 20th anniversary of Batman Begins is this year. I'm sure the actual date has already passed, but 2025, 2005. It is the year 2005. Don't zipper at me.
I'm do what I want. No, I was putting something in my backpack. Anyways, yeah, I mean, as far as the films are concerned, there's a lot that I don't care for in the later, phase 4 and 5.
Yeah. And then phase 5 TV shows. Make sure. Yep, phase 5 series. Phase 5 TV series include, sorry to cut you off.
Yep.
Secret Invasion, Loki, What If seasons 2 and 3, Echo season 1, Agatha All Along season 1, Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, Daredevil Born Again, and Ironheart. Ironheart debuted today, actually. Well, by the time you people are hearing it, it debuted July 1st. You need that list again?
No. I watched Secret Invasion.
Mm-hmm.
I did not enjoy it, especially what they kind of. I enjoyed part of it, like the very end, but I didn't like how they kind of ruined Nick Fury.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it was decent. Loki season 2 was pretty good. What If season 2 and 3, great. Ended it on a pretty good note. Echo didn't care. Agatha All Along really didn't care. The Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, kind of irrelevant to, I just didn't care. Daredevil, I know a lot of people love that, especially the fact that they brought him back from the old ABC cinema or ABC universe, or Netflix or whatever.
Yep.
And then there's Ironheart, which I don't care, but and Daredevil's already kind of shown up in Spider-Man.
Yeah.
No Way Home, and so I mean, he's in the MCU. The other ones, like, none of them I really felt resonated with me. Like, so honestly, out of this group, it'd be Loki and What If.
Yeah.
Like, I could go without the rest of them and not care, because in the grand scheme of things, I don't feel like a lot of these, outside of like Daredevil and Loki, are really going to play any role in what's coming down the pipe.
Well, I thought Echo was going to, because that's a part of the Daredevil world. Secret Invasion I thought was going to be better, because it was Nick Fury and it was based on the whole thing, and I thought it was going to lead to have some sort of lead up to Secret War. What If season 2 I've seen, I loved it. I need to see season 3. I'm sure I'm going to love it, but I love the What If animated series. And yeah, the rest of it, I have not seen any of it yet. I want to see Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. I think that's going to be really cool. So, yeah. The only thing I probably will not watch, obviously, is Loki and Agatha, because I just don't care.
Loki's the only one that I could see making sense from the multiversal standpoint.
Right.
It also, in order to fully understand Deadpool and Wolverine, I feel like you have to have watched Loki to fully understand what they're doing with the multiverse crap. Because a lot of the characters from the TBA, it's all relative and kind of ties over. The Kang the Conqueror stuff, it ends up being irrelevant because he wrote himself out by getting fired.
He got fired.
He got fired. But no, I mean, they kind of, by the end of season 2 of Loki, like, they already knew they were firing him and he was already gone, and so Loki essentially takes on the mantle, and he's the one holding the universe together. So he becomes goes from kind of villain to anti-hero to hero
Yeah.
So it's a redemption arc for Loki. And so in that manner, I feel like they kind of redeemed him, but it was in a tasteful manner that the struggle he has to go through to get there, I feel like it was earned. And when he gets to see Thor again and some of the others, like he'll have a deeper appreciation for the Avengers. So it may actually be him plucking alternate versions of the Avengers that are dead to fight Doom.
I guess. I don't know.
Like I could see this. I could see him being more important in the final unraveling of the multiverse. Right now, he's kind of sitting on his tree throne, that he's raveled, and he's kind of like the Madam Web of the universe, like observing things from the outside.
Oh.
I mean, when I say Madam Web, I mean from like the 90s.
I know what you're talking about, but no.
So I feel like that one's more deserved. The rest of them, I don't care.
Yeah, I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see where it goes. That's all I know. So that's all I got.
Oh, did you see the other tirade?
What? Oh, wait a minute. What did I miss?
You missed something, and it came out. It has nothing to do with the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Oh,
this is just a tangent that we can touch on in the future on all things Transformers.
Oh no.
They're discussing bringing Michael Bay back.
Oh yes, there is that too.
To the franchise. And it's funny because even comicbook.com goes, the Transformers franchise is dead if Michael Bay returns.
Yes.
It says, if Michael Bay returns, then the Transformers movies truly are dead and buried. Because honestly, I was done with it.
Mm-hmm.
They're even saying returning to the old is a sign of creative stagnation. Like, I think Transformers 1 got a bad rap.
Oh, okay. So
it got a horrible rap because of poor marketing. And they're like, oh, well, we want to see explosions. There were plenty of explosions. Where were you?
Where were you?
It was well written. The animation was good. You could clearly hear them. You could clearly see them.
Yeah.
It didn't need to be like, we don't need a crossover. Like they even have an article saying Transformers and G.I. Joe don't need a crossover.
Yep. Nope. What was there something else with that? These people now having to. Okay, so we've always said Transformers 2007, right? We've never. Okay. These people now are using vernacular Transformers 1 from 2007. And I'm sitting here thinking, stop that. Don't do that. Just say Transformers 2007. Transformers 1 is from, when did it come out? 2024? Whatever the hell. Like, don't try to confuse people with the vernacular, people. Stop it. I remember what the other thing is. Happy anniversary, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, the movie 30 years today. Just finished watching it before we recorded the podcast. Oh, God. That movie. So good. That's a movie that's a movie that I don't think today. Because if you, whether it's effects or whatever, but specifically runtime, that movie's runtime is, where the hell's the runtime? Hello? How long is your movie, sir? How long is your movie, ma'am? Where is it down here? Where is the damn... Seriously, I just looked. Like,
we don't know.
Oh, hold on. It pulled up the I know I put in the movie after I hit there. It comes in at 96 minutes. So it's an hour and a half plus 6 minutes. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I watched up until when they got the great power. And then I just kind of started doing stuff around the apartment for the last. Because by the time they get the power and they go back to Angel Grove for the final fight, it's the final fight. I know that final fight like the back of my hand. Like, they destroy one of the ectomorphicons and then Ooze does something stupid and he makes himself grow and get into the other ectomorphicon and they fly into space and they use Titan's comet or Orion's comet or whatever comet to blow him up. Giant Ooze man go boom and they save the day and we get Fred Campbell, the Gold Ranger. Fred Campbell, get off my lawn. But no, the point is that 1995, June 30th, 1995, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, the movie, released to theaters. I was there, and it was awesome. And I missed Jason David Frank immensely. And I wish he was here to celebrate the anniversary. And obviously, we know he can't be here to do that. And I'm glad all the other actors are here now with us and everything else. And just that movie has a perfect beginning, middle, and end. There are no wasted moments. There are a few comedy moments I could do without. I mean, I roll my eyes at what's the character's name? Mordant, which is the second alien that's with Goldar. He's kind of like,
that one was weird because he didn't really exist anywhere else.
Yeah, no, he doesn't, and he's kind of like the Squattin' Babu version movie, because they didn't bring in Squattin' Babu. But yeah, so. Yeah. But no, I mean, you don't have too much bulk and skull in this. I mean, you got them doing the whole skydive thing and you got them doing the whole thing with the foreman when they land. But other than that, no, I really dig this movie. It's so fun. It's just really fun. And you don't.
I enjoy that movie.
Yeah, absolutely. So happy 30th, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
So I think with that, I think that's all we have on this episode.
Yup, that's it. That's all she wrote.
Yep. So thank you as always for listening to Altered Geek. I've been your host, Steve Megatron with TFG1Mike. Be sure to check out, as we mentioned before, this episode on the website, geekcastradio.com. And of course, your favorite podcatcher. So until next time, get altered, get geeky with the Altered Geeks.
From classic icons to new sci-fi dreams, with every episode we'll unravel the themes. Let's geek out and laugh, keep the spirits high. Together we'll journey, reaching for the sky. Join the discussion, let's dive into lore. From Star Trek to Transformers, we're ready to soar. Superheroes clash as we spark up the flame. Altered Geek Podcast, remember the name.